Well, it's been a while since I went live. Oh, I just got finished watching Brett's. I don't even know who else is on. Bird might be on. I don't know. He was with Ghost earlier. But Brett and AC just can't learn their lesson. They just keep on lying. See, there's different rules, right? You can still lie about people who aren't your friends. That's not considered lying. Oh, Brett's still on. I don't see Bird on. I don't see anybody big on. Anyway, they just can't stop lying. I mean, where do I start? What did I put on that video? Hold on. I'll read what I put on the video. Hello, Hobo Ralph. I didn't know you know me. I know he was having fun. I know that. But when Brett is lying about me, he could clear it up. See, I've never done anything to anyone here. You realize that. I walked into AC's channel 3 years ago, over 3 years ago now. It's been since end of November last year was 3 years. And I haven't done anything to anyone here. Yeah, I'm infamous for the wrong reasons. Because, AC was a lying shit from the very moment I guess I met him. He wasn't the same guy when I met him on the phone before. We talked for hours on the phone. It was about 1A stuff. And then 6 months later, I go see that he's doing a live and I caught it. And I went, cool, I can talk to people about 1A. But it wasn't. He had switched to drama and I didn't even know what drama was. He even said to me, this isn't really a 1A channel anymore. It's like sort of a mix between all the whole fucking spiel he always gives. We're a mix between all these communities. So, but I didn't understand about communities or anything like that. I just used to watch videos. I was never part of, if I was part of a community, it was 1A, but I wasn't really part of a community. I just, took part in it myself, right? Learning the 1A stuff and doing it myself. So, that's the way it was. Now, if he was a decent person, if AC was a decent person, when I came into his channel, he would have said to the other people, look, she doesn't understand what's going on here. Don't, she's not me. She's not one of us. She's not part of the drama shit. She's walked into the wrong room and she doesn't know it. That he could have done that, but he didn't because he's an asshole. So he saw me as meat. And then he defamed me so that he could put a wedge between him and News Now Houston because everybody was bugging him about News Now Houston. Now, I didn't know that when I walked in. I was like, dum, 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 dum. Hi, AC. I know you from the videos. Remember we talked, and he was going, ha, 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 ha. More meat. Or no, more milk. So he's an asshole. And he's always been one. And he's always been a lying asshole because he's been lying about me. And lying includes straight up lies as well as just, twisting the truth, twisting the context. He's always been a liar. But now, since this has been this battle of the Titans now all of a sudden, oh my gosh, AC's a liar? Yeah, fuck, he was a liar the whole fucking time I've been here for over 3 years. But what? It doesn't count if it's just a lowly person, just a plebe. It doesn't count if you lie. It doesn't count if you twist the truth. All these things that they're complaining that each one is doing to each other, they've been doing that to all of us. But they don't count that. Fucking hypocrites. AC and Brett are unbelievably decent, upstanding pillars of the community. Oh, so no, you spelled it wrong. I thought it's supposed to be community. Sheesh, AC just spoke up for you. When? After he played the song? Because when Bret started playing the song, I left. I don't really like his music. Bird plays much better music. I get to choose what I like from each one, right? Because I'm not part of it. I just watch. I've been watching this whole time. It's been what? September, October, no, it was the end of August to September to October to November, of August to September, October, November, December, January. It's been 5 months this shit's been going on. This battle of the Titans. Immunity. Yeah. Well, I'm glad if he did, but it's, he owes me way more than that. He's hidden my channel. Like he never ever gives credit when he spent these years showing clips of my stuff, but never ever put my @ in there. He never ever said, this is how you find her, nothing like that. Right? He has no fucking honor. He's a fucking lying twat. But I don't hate him. And I never said, he goes, oh, you can't cry if you get the chance. I wasn't crying at all. I was laughing my ass off in the Discord messages. And then he goes and tells everybody I'm crying and I say that he hates me. I never said he hates me. He just can't stop lying. He just can't stop himself. Everything Katie says about him is true. Now, Katie should be put in check too, because she's not exactly an angel. She's just on the scale. If you measure the people here on a sliding scale, she's an angel. But she likes to hurt people's feelings. She gets off on hurting people's feelings. So that's not really an angel, is it? But when she makes her estimations of Jamie, of AC, of all of them, she's right. Right before AC left, he spoke. I heard, what? Right before he left, he said something and then he poofed off. So I did see the end of him saying it. And he said one thing. He said that I had already disavowed, not that I had avowed him, but disavowed News Now Houston. That was the only thing he corrected. He didn't correct why I have to stream from the bathroom half the time. And it's not all the time, just half the time. And it's because this is where I can smoke. I can clean these walls and ceiling so it doesn't smell like it, because I'm not allowed to smoke in my apartment. So I'm not going to smoke in my bedroom or my living room. I use my bedroom as a storage room because I have my bed is my couch. So I only need the one room. So I use the other room as a storage room. And this is the best room for that I can clean up the tobacco stuff, right? I've never got caught in 4 years. Touch wood, I never do. So, but you can't do that here. You can't smoke in apartments here in Ontario. Well, there's exceptions, but mostly you can't. So that's why I do it from my bathroom, because I smoke like a fucking chimney, just like you guys all do. I can hear you guys lighting up smokes every 5 minutes. So it's just that I have to do it from my I call it my VIP room now. Speaking of which, I need to smoke. Actually, we could light one up. If anybody's got anything ready, get your dabs and bongs and pantoozles and wuzzles. In 3, 2, 1, light up your dang shit. You sound a little bit like you're whining. Good on ya for improvising. There you go. That's all I do. And he saw me eat a piece of coffee cake in my bathroom over 3 years ago. And that's another thing they lie about, because they lie about context, and they say I eat in my bathroom like it's a regular thing. So that's a lie. I don't call them the shit show anymore. I call them the defamation nation. I sit here quiet. I see you guys make jokes about me, and every once in a while, it's not so bad lately, but I hear it, I see it, but I don't say nothing because it doesn't trigger me. So I don't have to go live every time my name's mentioned. I'm not looking for fucking attention. If I was looking for attention, I would have gone live like I am now. I'm not really looking for attention, but I just sort of felt like going, you know what? Fuck this shit. So I went live. I'm going to whine if I want to whine. I don't think this is whining. I'm laughing. I don't know how can you laugh and whine at the same time? Oh, it's behind. The text is behind. I can set the record straight too if I want. But they don't bother me anymore. I learned my lessons from them. My skin was too thick. I took myself too seriously. But see, here's the difference. You guys come here and you don't care about defaming your own selves because you're not here for a reason other than to defame, right? But that's not why I came here. I came here for spiritual reasons. I came here for political reasons. I'm quite a serious person, although I do love to laugh, and we do have laughs over at my channel, but we talk about serious things. I'm not here for the drama. Well, now I come to see drama because it distracts me from the real life shit that I normally is spending my time with, right? And this Battle of the Titans, this is just fucking amazing. It's like watching your bullies get bullied by each other. I knew if I sat back long enough that they'd start eating each other's tails. And this was just, I mean, karma is a beautiful thing. The good karma and the bad karma. And, you know, I was, just the funny thing. I'm so happy when I see my bullies being bullied by each other. But when they go too far, when they start talk about calling each other's wives and getting in, it's like, it makes me almost cry. I haven't actually cried, but it makes me almost cry because they're just going too far. And even though I'd like to see AC and Bret and Bird get a good kick in the head, and Tonic and Jamie, but when they actually are hurt, it hurts me. I don't want to see them hurt. When Bird, he started talking about Bret's daughter, Bret's daughter, I wrote Bird something and said, look, you're going too far. Like, I don't like Bret. I don't hate him, but I don't like him, you know, but I know that he's got a big heart. Just, you know, he doesn't recognize how to be kind or anything to people who are kind to him, right? I've only been kind to him. I've never been bad to him at all. I've always been kind to him. Why does he not like me? Ask yourself. Yeah, well, you know, I can, yeah. More like, what was I used to say in shit show channel? I used to say, more fighty, less talky, more fighty. I don't know. It just builds up though, you know, like I go, should I go live and say something? And I go, nah, fucking never mind. I just get distracted and go on to something else because I'm not so butthurt anymore. I used to be, but now I realize what you guys are and who you guys are, and why the hell should I be upset by people like you guys who are not the good ones, but the ones who are mean to me? Why should I care what you guys think? So I don't get triggered and go live every time. But this time, since I got into this whole, I didn't mean for it to go like that. I was just talking to him privately, and he decided to read the DMs. I don't care that he read the DMs, but I was talking to him privately. I was not trying to get attention. I never have. It's so out of character for me to do that. So all of a sudden he thinks that. He has done that so many times. He attributes AC, attributes, and Bret attribute all kinds of shit that isn't true. So, you know, once in a while I gotta be able to say something. Do you have compassion? Of course. Yes. Hobo Ralph. Will if I it might be so bold. Will that's what I'm here for. This is what we talk about on my channel. Like when I first came here, see how people got me mixed up for somebody who is an apologist for pedos, which was not true at all. The timing of it was he wasn't guilty yet. Now it's a big thing with me for people to always observe innocent until proven guilty, right? So that charge, he was innocent until proven guilty. He was guilty of something 40 years before that. 40 years. Some people don't even live 40 years. It's like a whole lifetime ago. He was guilty of something. When I found him in 2016, he was helping homeless people. He was teaching people. He was teaching me about our rights, right? And then this whole thing came out, and this woman named Teresa, who now I know who she is, but I didn't know the community. I only knew, not knew, but I only watched News Now Houston. So I didn't know who these other people were that he would bring up. So then I saw something and I was like, is this real? And then I was like really disgusted for like about 3 months. And then I forgot about it because, you know, it's not part of my life. And I saw one of his videos came up and I watched and I'd forgotten about it. And then I guess I just sort of put it in the back of my mind because all I saw him doing was good. And he was, far as I understood, he was being railroaded by the cops. And people have to be careful of the cops, especially in the States. So, talk about stuff at all. What about compassion or about me? What stuff? So yeah, that was, to me, that's a different charge. One is, you know, the one that he was guilty of before, that was a violent act, right? That's a violent act. But the other one that he was guilty for afterwards, that was a totally different mind fuck. That's like, that is, especially with your own fucking daughter, right? I just couldn't believe that was true. And I remember on that first show, after that 5.5 hours of grueling shit, well, the whole 5.5 hours wasn't bad, but most of it was. And after I got off and I went back to go see what they said, ASMR said, and he was, I mean, AC sent ASMR after me. It's just like, here you go, partner. here's a meal. And so ASMR really was the mean one. AC sits behind the scenes and he's mean behind the scenes and then acts like he's everybody's friend. So ASMR says, you know, I hope she isn't going to be too hurt when she finds out he's guilty. And that kind of haunted me because then it happened and he was guilty. And I was knocked to the floor. I couldn't believe it. I still never saw any evidence, but he got found guilty. So now people could say he was guilty because he got found guilty. And I just left it because I don't want anything to fucking do with it anymore. Because if he was being railroaded, he would have shown the fucking proof at his trial. And that part he didn't do. So obviously he was lying. So that's it. I got fooled. All right. So what? I came here with a message of compassion. Compassion is the utmost. And I've learned cooperation is of utmost. So that's but it got turned into something seedy. And I'm a, what do you call it? Low caste in the neighborhood. And this just has been going on for over 3 years. AC, if he was a decent person, would make an official statement, say, look, I've been torturing this woman for 3 years and I shouldn't have. She's a really nice woman. She's never done anything to anyone here. She's only ever written nice comments to people. She's written nice comments to bad people to make them feel better. The pirate video I sent Bret, I just found his channel soon, like maybe a couple months before that, because of what he said to Ruth, my little sister. She was I viewed her as my little sister. I tell people all the time that they need to stop filling people's bellies and tanks. Oh my God. What? What are you laughing at? My current subject. Oh, I gotta look up here. I missed some of it. Yeah. So I came with a message of compassion. Instead, it got turned into I'm a pedo supporter. And really, all you guys all, I mean, it shows how many people have been abused, because I know why they're doing it. I've studied you guys now for over 3 years. It's amazing. The study has been amazing. And this final crescendo, I don't know if it's final, but this crescendo of the Battle of the Titans, it's just been like someone wrote it. It's unbelievable. Oh, come on. Bret was responding to horrendous accusations made by Rue. No, I understand that. I know. But I was floored because I'd never seen anyone. Hello, Bird. What happened this time? You're gonna have to rewind. Or watch the last part of Bret's. And then I came here to clear things up because AC lied his fucking ass off. So, and Bret just makes shit up. He pulls shit out of his ass. And you can see I made a video, a 3-second video, because Bret asked for it. I only contribute in a nice way. I don't contribute to any of the hate. And there was something Bret that was saying, and it was sweet. So I thought, okay, I'll help him with this because it's not hurting anyone. It's just a joke for AC, but AC doesn't care about it. So he wanted cartoon eyes that went blink, blink, blink. So I went to a video that I thought the cat did it, but I guess the dog did it. Did the blink, blink, blink. So I did a video of it. I put text over it saying AC when he saw GO2. And then I put my little logo on it just so they couldn't lie and say somebody else made it. So I sent it to AC in Discord because I don't have Bret on Discord. And last time I talked to AC in Discord was like 2023 to wish him happy birthday. And then I remembered I have Bret's email, so I sent it to Bret's email. They didn't say anything till like half an hour later. And then it all got twisted like everything does when AC is telling the story. Okay, bye. But I'm not going to tell you the rest of that. Just, okay, bye. So yeah, so I hear you guys say bad shit about me and I don't say nothing. I just go on with my, what are you saying, with my lifetime skills. But this is just amazing fucking drama. Like the last 5 months have just been incredible. Until you guys go too far and you make me want to cry. Because I don't want you guys to be hurt. Any of you. Not even the worst of you. Not even Jamie. I don't want you guys to be hurt. But I do love you guys getting your bad karma. Hello, Exiled. See, Exiled has been nice to me and he's been a prick to me. But what did I do? When he was upset and he was crying on the video, I think he privated the video afterwards, but I left him a message telling him that my heart goes out to him and he must be having it hard. I can't remember what he said. When Tyrant Bird, you're mean to me, stop. But I've only ever been nice to you. And you only treat me like this because AC told you to. AC set it up so that I'd be your food. But really, you have no reason to not like me. I mean, you could decide you don't like me as a person, but you don't know me. The only thing you know about me are lies that are told about me. One time, I think Bret and you were sitting on AC's channel. It was Bret and someone, but I think it was you, Bird. And Bret said that I went down on Danny because Danny came here to visit me. He's the only one who's seen where I live. And but we don't go out or anything. We're just friends. And him and Slow Burner and Crafty Cat were supposed to come up this summer for my birthday, but Crafty Cat fucked it up. I should have known. But yeah, so Danny knows where I live. But then you guys made it tawdry, and it was funny, actually. I thought that was funny because it was more like I was being ribbed as one of you guys instead of being your fodder, right? But then one day later on, like a year later or something, Bret said that I went down on him and all this shit, and that naughty stuff went on. And then he said he thought that I was going out with that guy Cowboy. I don't even know Cowboy. I've seen him on Shelley's before, and maybe another channel. and only a few times. I don't know that guy. You remember that? Yeah, but I didn't say shit. I didn't go make a live. I didn't say anything in the chat. I just watched you guys fucking lie about me for 3 fucking years. I am a decent, kind, compassionate person, and I've shown almost nothing but. There are times where I've, as you guys say, spurred out, but that's not a nice word. I've spouted off because, I was just getting used to this shit and I didn't really understand how to deal with that. I was like, why are these people hurting me? Miss Cat, as long as you don't support news now, I have no, of course I don't. I made an hour and a half live 2 days after he got sentenced. And that's because it took me that long to fucking process it. And then I went on, then the thumbnail for that video was, that thing where you throw the balls at it and the person falls in the water? It was one of those. It was like, okay, great. I'm gonna have to take my shots now, right? So I did an hour and a half live explaining what happened and how I am so shocked and disappointed and so no, I don't even talk about him anymore unless AC brings me up or goes at me, and because it always comes up about the Newsdale Houston thing. So otherwise, I don't bring him up. Right? Okay, you were here, and then I did a live afterwards. Like first, I did it just to speak my piece. Then I closed that off, and then I made a live afterwards, and anybody could come up and give me my shit, right? Because I was wrong. All right, so I was wrong. I don't mind being corrected when I'm wrong, if I'm wrong. But to just lie about me, that's just fucking ridiculous. And I don't have the right PR to fight it. And it's too much trouble to fight it. I have to sit here and go through 5 hours. He did 5 hours on me one time. 5 hours. On little old me. I haven't done anything to anyone here. Me and Nikki fought. She friend trolled me for a few months. And I didn't understand. I thought she was really my friend. And so I felt close to her. And so when I realized that she was not my friend, I reacted with a broken heart. So there had been times where I've cried about things, but normally I don't cry here because I'm not going to show you guys that I cried. But now I don't cry. It's just funny. And I have this reaction video that I made. I never aired it. There's lots of videos I made and never aired. But it was me reacting. I had made a live outside, and AC and Jamie went on Jamie's and started doing a thing on my live. And so I was watching it, and then I thought I should do a reaction video. So I didn't get it right from the beginning recording it, but I recorded my reaction to it. And I'm laughing half the time. And I'm correcting it as I go along. They lied about this. They got this wrong. They got this wrong. They got this wrong. Jamie can't figure out anything. He always comes to the wrong conclusion. He's not stupid, but because of his emotional quotient, it must be low. He like his IQ might be higher, but his emotional quotient is low. And so he doesn't understand what he's taking in. So his perspective is different, and he puts a different spin and doesn't have the truth, but he thinks he does. Nikki was, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. I mean, she wasn't a good friend, I'll tell you that. But I did think she was my friend, and then I realized that she doesn't have my back, definitely. So, but I can't stop caring about her. That's the thing. Like, if I care about all you fucks that are mean to me, imagine how much I cared about Nikki. So, and there's a couple others that I really cared about. So, but that's on me. But you know what? I'd rather have a heart that gets broken than have this steel heart where people can't get through to me. Because what if somebody does need me here? What if somebody does come to see, they see that I'm a compassionate person, They know that I'll listen to them. They know that I've witnessed what they've been through, and they want some kind of support. I'm here, right? That's what I do. I write comments on people's videos that will make them feel better. That's how I got to know Bert. Not got to know, but the first Bird video I ever saw, this was a few months I'd been here, and the first video I saw of him, it was just the tail end of his video, and he said it was too late for him. He said he was mean, this isn't his exact words, but he said it was too late for him. And I thought, no, it's not too late. So I wrote him a comment telling him it's never too late, right? I was just trying to be supportive. And then on August 11th, 2022, I hadn't even been here a year, was the birding. And I missed it. I wasn't sitting on YouTube. I came half an hour later and I saw PDF's notification, because back then I used to watch PDF still. And on it, it said, or no, I just went in there, sorry, and everybody was freaking out about Bird. But it was half an hour later, and it was just trickling in that it wasn't real. So I missed it, thank God. So afterwards, I thought, oh, poor Bird. Everybody's going to hate him now. He's going to think nobody loves him. And I thought that maybe he was thinking about doing that to himself. He just didn't actually do it. But maybe he was really thinking about it. So on the off chance that he was really thinking about it, I thought I better be here for him. So he, like 9 days later, he came out. It only took 9 days for him after the birding to come out and talk publicly. And then he made the usual suspects channel. And I was one of the first people who joined it. And I was in there, and when I'd write in chat, because I used to talk in chat back then, I'd only say nice things. I would never contribute to making fun of anybody or anything, but I just wanted him to know that he wasn't hated. I've only ever been nice to the guy. And maybe I've given him shit about something, but I've never trolled him. I've never tried to publicly embarrass him. Nothing like that. And yet he's such a fucking vile twat towards me. But I see wisdom in him. I see wisdom in his words. He has the most wise words. Jamie almost has it, but Bird has it. He knows, but that's what makes him a sociopath. I put that as a thumbnail of something I got really mad at him because his racist shit. He says, I'm not a racist, but he doesn't count when he's a racist to Arabs. So I put a video up because just the night before, he was saying some really wise shit. And then the very next night, he said some hateful, genocidal shit towards the Palestinians. And so I juxtaposed the two, like videos from when he was being wise and how it impacted what he was saying. Like, it was what he was saying. Words are spells. And he was taking part in a spell that brings about genocide. Whether he thinks it's a joke or not, he's putting it out into the universe. And anybody who repeats it is putting it out in the universe, just like Jamie. Hateful fucking Nazi prick. Israel, in my opinion, YouTube, are Nazis. And they act just like Nazis. So anyone who backs them are Nazi backers, right? Pedo supporters, you can be a Nazi supporter, right? So that stuff sucks. And I don't like it. So I speak up about that. But I can get mad at him and still love him. It's still care about him. But fuck them if they don't want my help. I don't care. I don't have to help them. I offer it to them. If they don't want it, they don't have to take it. I offered that video to Bret. He wanted the blinking eyes. I gave it to him with a caption to help him, and with my stamp on it, just to say, hey, nobody else made this, I made this, right? Just like the pirate video. It was just to make him smile. But he's a fucking pussy. He was too scared to show it. So, what else? What else? I've made little videos on shit that I've seen, the hypocrisy, and I got one on Tonic talking to Rebel, being so fucking dismissive. He's acting like he's his friend. I don't know if it's friend trolling or if it's what Tonic considers being a friend, but but he's telling Rebel, "Thank you." I've got the video. I could probably just show it. I put it up in the, where is it? Media. Tonic. Hold up, put my glasses on. Jamie ASMR. Andrew. Where's Tonic? I didn't used to pay any attention to Tonic, but he's had some big people up on his lives. You know, he's part of the drama show. Oh, where the fuck? It's gotta be near the top. One of the first ones I put up here. Here, this one.
It's evolved from you. I actually have you to thank for a lot of this. If it wasn't for you, I would have quit a long time ago.
Yeah, but you know, like for me, it's been hell. It hasn't been good for me.
I
Like for
yeah.
what's good for you was hell for me, you know, and so you got to understand from my point of view, like I hate it, you know, and this for me, it feels like in a parallel universe, I should have like been, it's like I shouldn't have been in this position, but like, you know, I was and it happened, but you know, it's just like, right? Which can hope for me to have a better future became, you know, a nightmare,
Hold on.
right?
My heater is going ballistic. I gotta turn that off real quick. I'll be right back.
Right? Now, which is it? I mean, was that him being nice? I mean, that's just ridiculous. That was so dismissive. That was so hurtful. And Rebel handled it like a fucking champ. I have never gotten a handle on Rebel. I have never. He's the central character. From my perspective in the community, he's the central character. Like Gilligan on Gilligan's Island. I said that to him once and he took offense to it, but now he knows that I didn't mean that. I mean, everybody's a goof on that fucking island, right? Not just Gilligan. But Gilligan's the central character. He's the one everybody cares about. And sometimes I think Tonic does care about him. But I'm also an idiot when it comes to this shit. If I can look at it from a third person point of view and not care about it, I can understand it better. But if my heart goes out to whoever's being tortured, then I kind of go into my own emotional shit, right? So then I can't really judge as properly. I wish Jamie could understand that. Well, what? You gonna give me any more to go on? Exiled somebody? I think I made my point. There's so many other lies I could take apart, but oh, my alarm is going off. So What? You know, I knew when Nikki wasn't my friend when she lied, because I never, ever, ever thought she'd lie, but she lied about me on Rue's show a couple times. And she put out the video of me saying how much I love crap, right? And now even fucking bitches like fucking Silver, what's her name? Silver Diamond calls me a crackhead because of that. Because Nikki, Frodo, stop, lay down. Because Nikki took a piece of my live stream and took it out of context. Because we were all talking about how, you know, what our favorite drug was, what our favorite high was. So when it was my turn, I said how much I loved the feeling of prep. And then I was just kind of getting all dreamy about it, just like as a joke, you know, it's like, oh, I just love it. So like, I mean, but I did like it, but I was just overstating it just to be funny. And she took that and just took the clip, put it on her channel. And I don't know if she told Tonic about it or told somebody to tell Tonic about it, or if she just hoped somebody would find it. But Tonic found it, and then he put it out there and just started saying I'm a crackhead. And then Jamie, who's supposed to know all kinds of, I mean, he's not an expert on hardly anything, but he's supposed to be an expert on drinking, drugging, and jail. Those are his fucking expertise. And maybe what bricklaying, I don't know. I don't know how good he is, but that's what he's supposed to be good at. So if he's supposed to understand about drugs, then why does he say that you can't? I just heard him say that again recently, by the way, and I didn't get triggered and go live, but I just heard him say it again recently. You can't do crack and not being addicted. Well, you're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot, you skinhead fucking bastard. I'm not. I never was. You know why? Because I loved my family enough not to do that. I suffered for 3 months after I did it the first time. I suffered for 3 months every day, craving it every day, but I didn't give in. And I had the money, but I didn't give in because I didn't want to be a crackhead. And then after that, I did it and I said once in a blue moon, and I meant about like, I don't know, 2 to 3 years. And then one day, AC thought he's going to make a fool of me. So he goes and looks up how often a blue moon comes, and it says 2 to 3 years. And I was like, ah. It was either a year and a half to 2 years or 2 to 3 years, something like that. But it was just what I meant when I said it every once in a blue moon. And so he had egg on his face for that. So Jamie is full of shit as usual. Almost everything he surmises about me is not true. He just comes to these fucked up conclusions. And Katie called him on it the other day. And she's got more watchers than me, right? Like right now I have 9 people watching. She has like 172. So at least 172, much more probably, heard her give an accurate assessment of Jamie. Who is Be Our Guest? I that one just went by. Is that the Evil Ghost? Is Be Our Guest, or is that someone else? That person, whoever they are, came up. I think it's a guy. Came up in some kind of drama maybe a year ago or something. And I'll just sub. If I can find a channel, I'll sub. So that way, if they say something on the shit show, I can go back and watch the original and then see if they took it out of context. You know, if it's necessary. If it's just a joke, it's just a joke. But if they're accusing somebody of something, I'm not going to fucking trust the shit show. So I'm going to go and find out for myself. Because, folks, I'm a critical thinker as much as I can be. I'm sure I'm indoctrinated in other things I haven't realized yet, but I'm a critical thinker. So I would much rather go and find out for myself instead of take the clip. Because as I found out, the clip, it was almost always out of context. This is what, and I don't really watch El Kennedy, but isn't that what Katie accuses El Kennedy of doing? Taking things out of context. So these clippers are not, I'm not a big fan of Chicky. Obviously, she's the pure producer of the shit show that tortures people. But I think hers are the only ones I've ever seen that are kind of true. Of the ones that I'm subscribed to anyway. I don't see all of Chicky's either, but you know, if I need to go, I know where to find it. Am I like, are people talking in chat and I'm missing it, or are you just not talking? No. On the other one, it doesn't show anything. Okay, so are you tired of me talking then? Don't have any questions to ask? Anything to clear up about the lies that are told about me? I think people just aren't interested in the truth. They'd rather just hear the lie. I think I said something in Birds the other day, and somebody named Charlie, I don't know who Charlie is. I just said one comment because Bird was showing a video of an oracle. He named it Oracle, but it was a tarot reading. And I don't know if they're reading from the Oracle Tarot, but he said something about the Oracle reading. And it seemed like he saw it as Bret or AC or whoever. But it was talking about Bird himself too. If you go back and if he hasn't privated it, because these fucking pussies private everything now. I can't possibly be sitting on here waiting to watch every single show, for fuck's sakes. And then I find out, or sometimes I don't even find out because it's already gone before I get there. Or I'll be watching, I'll rewind if I can, because these pussies put on DVR. But if I can, I'll rewind and start watching from more towards the beginning, and I'll just sort of skim through till, or you know, put it on 1.5 or something. And so he said it, yeah, he said it was the oracle. So everything in that reading was describing Bird too, but he didn't see that. He couldn't see it. But you know, if anybody could in this fucking crowd, it would be Bird. I have faith in Bird. I have faith in him. I have faith in him. I have faith in him. I have to keep on convincing myself because he's such an asshole. I have faith in him that he can, and I've told him this a few times. I have faith in him that he can become a good man, that he can just take that wisdom that he does have. I heard him talk about being in the hospital bed, I don't know, 1 or 2 years ago. He made it alive. And he always privates the really good ones too, where people could really get something out of it. But it's not drama, so he privates it because he's too vulnerable when he said it, right? But he was in a hospital bed and he just read and read and read a lot. Hey, Willie, you're back. I'm absolutely baffled because you sold me on you being compassionate, yet you just said a shit ton of horrendously evil and mean things about branches of people. Hey, no judgment. I'm telling how it is. But despite all of these things, I can have a feeling about the incident, but that doesn't mean that I hate the person, right? Like Bret, he's a hateful fucking shrew, a drama queen. But you know what? I can feel his heart. He's got the most breakable heart of anyone here. I can hear Terry. His heart's breaking. He's another fucking racist asshole against Muslims and Arabs. And I have reason to hate these people, but I don't. I feel for him because he's so vulnerable right now. And he makes it a joke, but I can hear it in his voice. It's like half anger, half sadness. And maybe he feels like a failure. I don't know. And I'm not saying he is one. I'm just saying maybe he feels like one and he's embarrassed about it. Maybe he's sticking his face in the pool just to get it over with. I don't know. But I feel for these people. But I can still get mad at them. Don't you get mad at people you love or that you care about. So I can get, and I don't know why I care about these people. They're not my friends. They've never had my back. In fact, they've only come at me behind my back and at my front. They don't care. They'll surround me. They'll fucking jump me. And still, I care about them. So I would say that's the height of fucking compassion, Willie. But I decide I'm just going to be laughing at the shit. But, Bret, or sorry, Tyrant Bird, has gone through some very serious things. And just recently I learned, if he's telling the truth, that he grew up in a rough way, almost like 303 sounded like. Probably not as bad as poor 303, but, and 303 is mean to me too. I've only ever been nice to him and his wife and his babies because I care about them. And I probably think some of the drama is real. Like it's a mix. Some of it is real, and some of it, like that thing with Huckleberry and Sweet and Callie, that looks like drama, like it's made up drama. Callie reminds me of a cross between that girl on Shameless, the British one, the British version of Shameless, or the American one. She just reminds me of that character. Like she's a tough little cookie, but she gets the job done, right? Because she does what needs to be done. And I sort of picture her like that in her real life. So she's like a combination between that and that wet cat that the skunk's always after in Pepe Le Pew. There'd always be a wet cat. They get a stripe down their back. I don't picture her, like losing like that. I just picture her like a wet cat. That's all. A little wet alley cat, scrapping with anybody. She's so fucking adorable. She gets some shit wrong, but maybe she does it on purpose. I don't know. So I get it mixed up sometimes, but I think that one with the Huckleberry and Sweet and Callie, I think that's like a made up. I think the girls got their head together and said, the guys are getting all the fucking attention. Let's come up with something. And then Callie did so, and either that or it's real. And Huckleberry just loved having someone come to her rescue. And she threw her friend into the ditch because the other person was giving her roses. But I don't know. Maybe that's real. I don't know. I don't know what's real. But some of it's, I really do believe that's real. Bird, his family breaking up, I believe that's real. The shit about AC, I believe that's real. Like the butt plug stuff and the fucking around with the Manda and Ajot. But see, that like we don't need to know about that. That's none of our fucking business. I mean, obviously he's a cad. That's another thing. Here's a video I made. Hold on. Here's a video. See, I don't put these things up, but I'm gonna put them up now. Because one of my resolutions of 2025 is I'm gonna be more involved because I've just been sitting back in the treehouse and watching. I'm gonna get more involved. Just not hurting people. Just I'll put my name in chat every once in a while. Where is the AC thing? I don't have production. I'm production. I see. I have to remember what I meant, what I named it too. I can only see a couple words. Oh, here we go. AC is basking. You're a bad man, AC. Dissing your wife the way you do. Flirting with women on the internet. I hope she hits you like Ace hit Andrew. You're always going, flirting with this Christian person. No, you're joking. I know you're not. Well, I don't know it, but I believe that you're not fucking around. But it's disrespectful to your wife to even flirt with other women like that. You got worse lately. You weren't this bad 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. You actually blushed. Remember that? You actually blushed because you were humble back then, or more humble than you are now. And God help you, AC. I saw you're back friends with that snake oil salesman again, and you've managed to convince everybody to. I wonder what kind of sob story was on the background. Did you like have a conference and you said, "Oh, I've had it so hard and this, that, and I had the COVID like 9 times. I was shot by COVID 9 times." There. There's another one. I just showed it. And this was before anything happened, right? This was on August 24th. His birthday was August 23rd. My birthday is August 30th. That's why I remember his birthday, because it's a week before mine. He's a week older than me. So if this was August 24th and it was around his birthday that Bird had made that thing about his former friend, he was having a dinner with Ghost, and he said his former friends. And everybody's ears perked up. Like, what the fuck's he talking about? And nothing happened for a couple days. Nobody said anything. So I just figured, okay, I don't know, it's something behind the scenes. And then it all came out. And then the shit came out about AC, and it turns out he wasn't just flirting. And then when 303 made this bonehead move by putting out that fucking receipt, which Bird never co-signed, he showed it, but he never co-signed it. In fact, I think he said it wasn't true. And the same thing with the ASMR docs. I could swear that at the beginning, when he first started showing ASMRs, not his docs, but the whole Broly or whatever, or Burly thing, the first night he showed it, he said, I don't know, this could be true or it couldn't be true, right? So he never claimed it was true. So he was quite careful about his words, but nobody picks it up. I'm absolutely baffled because you told me, oh, is this a different? Oh, I thought I was reading it again. Fuck. My ADHD is so bad. Yeah. So it wasn't more than a couple weeks that this shit had came out about AC, and I was fucking horrified. And it was like, I don't need to know the shit. Like, I don't want to be judging. Like, you people judge each other on the wrong things. You pick the wrong things to judge each other for. If you're gonna be judgy Judies, at least pick some decent things to judge people for. When people are mean to each other, that's a big fucking clue that they're not a nice person. And that includes even the people who say that they're nice people, but they're still mean. I mean, goddess bless Katie. I think in real life, she's probably quite a decent person. But when she comes to YouTube, she's not quite a decent person. She's just more decent than the rest of the fucks. But she has tortured Rebel. For what? For what? She has a charmed life, for fuck's sakes. I mean, obviously, nobody's life is perfect. And she had troubles before in her life. And you don't get troubles like that unless there's something wrong that makes you get into those troubles. So, sure, her life's not perfect, but she's a strong woman. She overcame her troubles, those troubles, and she does talk a good game. But why pick on someone whose life is not nearly as charmed as yours? Why not have some compassion? Can't talk about kindness and compassion and not exhibit it, right? And you did co-sign mean people because you had AC in them up on your show, hurting other people through your show, but I'm talking about Katie. She was fine with it at the time, but then all of a sudden now she's not fine with it. Oh, she never backs that. And I swear to God, I saw it at least once. I saw it said the shit show community on her show. She put that backdrop on at least one of her shows. She just probably doesn't remember. I don't think she's lying. I think, although you think you'd remember something like that, especially if you're so against it, you'd remember that you did do it once. But, I don't have the proof because I didn't think I'd need to take the proof. And I don't remember when it was. And I don't have the fucking patience to go look through it because I'm not trying to attack Katie. I'm just setting the record straight. So many things get told wrong here. So many things. Timing goes, like Jamie's been saying he's been here for 3 years for the last few months. Well, it's not until now. Like I have to go back and check my records, go and see when he first came on my live streams. But it was somewhere around end of January, beginning of February. I was still being taunted by people coming in my channel. So it was still the first, 2-3 months. That's when he was in my channel, and he didn't meet AC until he had been in my channel and we were talking. And we used to get along just great. We loved talking to each other. And by the way, they turned that into something dirty on his stream, as if the guy's like my daughter's age, and he's mean. Why the fuck would I even want to be with him? For fuck's sakes. He's turned it into something dirty. But we did used to have fun talking. We enjoyed each other. We used to get excited when we were on the same team because we agreed about so much. Not everything, but I started to see that he wasn't as smart as I thought because he started saying about, liberals and Democrats or whatever you guys call them down there, Republicans and Democrats and all this shit. And he was just assuming shit. If I wasn't on one side, I was on the other. And like, that's some pretty pedantic shit to think about nowadays. If you're intelligent nowadays, you have much more information available to you. And you'd know that it doesn't really matter if you're left or right. That just doesn't count. It's just a team you got picked for dodgeball. It's like, doesn't mean anything. It's just deciding if you're going to go to McDonald's or Burger King. That's it. It's the same thing. But he's not bright enough to see that yet. Oh, I keep on going down the side things. Where was I? Was it Bret or AC? Can't remember. Or was it Tonic? No, it wasn't Tonic. He's a little shithead. He porn bombed me, the little shithead. Tonic, the one time I let him up on my panel and he fucking porn bombed me. But that's okay, because that means if he ever tries to come back again, sorry, buddy, can't be trusted. He reminds me of so many characters. I was just, who was I thinking of? One of them is Sergeant Bilko. You guys are probably too young to know who Sergeant Bilko is. He reminds me of Sergeant Bilko. And he reminds me of other people too. Just the slimiest fucking people. And I know that people say he's grown, but it's only a smidgen. And he really cares about being monetized. Ever since he got monetized, it's like he got accepted to the country club, and now he has to dress a certain way and act a certain way and talk a certain way. He doesn't want certain words being said because he doesn't want to be demonetized. And he's like so careful. And I'm thinking to myself, you little shit, you don't care about what you wreck for other people, but now you've got something to lose. Now all of a sudden it's important. Bunch of hypocrites. I just sit back here and I laugh and I study and I ponder. And you guys have taught me so much about how the oligarchy works. how they work the public. You guys have taught me on a micro scale how it is that why society is so bad. Because this is some of the worst of society, right? You got your pedos and your rapists and your murderers, right? And then, and they pick this whole pedo supporter thing on purpose because they know nobody's gonna like a pedo. So that way they can gather everybody together. Everybody get together and we'll all hate the same enemy. And then start to splinter off, right? Divide and conquer. So we'll look for the weakest antelope in the herd and go after them. But they'll keep everybody together because, hey, we hate pedos. It's incredible, the machinations of the evil world. But it's taught me how the oligarchy ruins the world with the media. Because all the same spin, all the people that think that Israel's one way, when it's like the complete exact opposite in 99% of what they say about Israel. And what they do to people's minds by showing them only certain things, right? They used to show a few years ago, they'd show rockets came from Gaza into a cafe in some, Tel Aviv or something like that. I don't think they could get that far back then, but rockets fell in Israel. They didn't say that for 3 months before that Palestinians had been locked in their houses, and they have those cages that the bars that you put up there. They were locked in their houses, not allowed to come out. They were running out of food and everything. No deliveries being made. They wouldn't let anybody deliver to inside the Palestinian territories. Nobody could get anything. They couldn't tend their farms. And then the Israelis would come down from the hills, and I saw a video of this, and they sing Jewish songs down because they live in the hills and they keep the Palestinians down below. And I heard one time it's so that they can see the Palestinians running up the hill at them. I don't know, but it was the same thing in the show, The Oblongs, the cartoon, The Oblongs. The rich people lived on the hill, and the poor people, the deformed people, all lived in the valley, right? So it's the same thing in Israel. So everything that anybody thinks they know about Israel, they don't know. It's the complete exact opposite. They are the perpetrators. And they do it in a Nazi way, the way that the Nazis did it. And that's not hate speech. That is just statement of fact. The Nazis did things a certain way, and these guys do the same thing. Their own version of it, but it's still the same thing. So I can see now, I've always been studying that part anyway, but I can see how it works on people's brains, the way that it works here in these sewers, the way that people pick up information here. Some people, oh yeah, I was in Birds, and I made one comment, just one, and some guy named Charlie, he goes, oh, go eat your breakfast on the toilet. You know what my answer was? I didn't answer at all because I didn't want to go into a back and forth and make this guy think that he triggered me, right? But what my answer in my head was, but it's not breakfast. So when people think that I'm upset, Steffi, like she's my friend, Steph, she said, she made this meme of me, right? And I made one of her too. But she made this meme of me. And the only thing that I wasn't happy about was that I looked like a Sith when I'm a Jedi. Yeah. And I commented on that. You know what? She went and told everybody on the shit show, and she said this many times. She said, well, a few times. She said, oh, she lost her shit over it. And I hear her say that all the time too. She lost her, like about other people. She lost her shit. I did not lose my shit over it. They overreact. AC tells everybody that I said, why do you hate me? He just pulled that right out of his ass. And that's saying a lot, isn't it? That was mean. I wasn't being mean. I was just trying to be funny, but that's not nice for me to say anyway. But you know what I mean? He did. He just pulled that right out of his ass. So I have sat here and listened to this shit for 3 fucking years. And in the last probably 2 of them, I've barely reacted to any of it. But it still keeps on going on, right? So if people say, you know, never mind, if you just go away for a little while, they'll forget about it. No, that's the way it works in real life. That's not the way it works here because they're desperate, right? They have to pull out, oh, I saw her eating in her bathroom 3 years ago. He doesn't say that. He just says, oh, I saw her eating in her bathroom. So they don't have anything on me. They can't say, oh, she doxed somebody. Oh, she picked a side. Oh, she called somebody's mom, or you can't say any of that shit. I haven't gone into anybody's channel and been mean. Like I don't even jump on any. I could have. What I could have done when I came here and saw the way things were here, I could have gathered my tears and just tried to fit in, right? Try to buddy up with some people that were nice to me and then make fun of the people that seemed weaker than me. And then I could have been in with everybody and nobody be making fun of me because I'd have my crowd, right? I could have jumped on Shelley's panel or Rebel's panel or any of those people who have been picked on and said, oh, my story, my story. But I don't. And they never say, Shelley or Rebel or Rue or anybody would ever say, oh yeah, they weren't good to, like, they weren't good to Shelley, they weren't good to Paige, they weren't blah, blah, but they never say they weren't good to Sweetleaf or Miss Cat, right? So nobody's here, even my friends here have never had my back. I've always been on my own. And I already learned a long time ago to not just come on and react. But I see these guys who they taught me that I was giving away something. I'm triggered by going online and saying something, right? So they taught me, and that's why I've barely done that at all in 2 years. The first year I did it. I'm rounding off. I didn't like take note of the dates, but it took me a while to not do it. Probably wasn't a full year even. And but they do it all the time. They get talked about and then they go live and they talk about it. And they'll say, oh, it's just content. But bullshit. They'll say, I don't care what you think about me. Really? Seriously? If you don't care what people think about you, then why are you trying to set the record straight? When it's you, right? When it's you, you want to set the record straight. When AC is sitting beside Bret and Bret's saying all this shit about me, smoking in my VIP room, he could, AC could have set Bret straight. He could have said, yeah, but that's the only place she could smoke, really. I was an asshole for ridiculing her for that, because really, it's the only place she can smoke. That's what he could, if he was a decent person, if he'd learn any of his lessons about not lying, because taking part in somebody else's lie is still lying. All of it's being dishonest. And he just kept on being dishonest right till the last second. Well, almost the last second, because he did clear up the News Now Houston thing. But what? I'm supposed to give him a fucking cookie for that? He owes a lot more truth about me than that. So, he could set everybody straight. He has the power. He has people's ear, right? Of course, who's going to believe him now? Because now everybody else knows he's a liar. I knew he was a liar, but now everybody else knows he's a liar. So even if he does say anything now, what's his word mean, right? And like, and Bret is torturing him. Like, holy shit. And everybody's torturing him. I feel bad for AC. Like, I want to grab people and tell them to stop it when they're teasing AC. Like, that's his private life, and it's not something that people should be making fun of. Not that he cares about me, but I care about him. And, at the beginning, it was like, I couldn't help laugh, but I'm sorry, but I'm human. And I was like, you're kidding me. This isn't real, right? So I had the same reaction as most other people. But then when it goes on and I see his buddies making him, and excuse me for saying this, the butt of the joke, it hurts me. because AC is the guy I followed down into this fucking sewer. So it's like, a baby bird when they hatch and they're imprinted on the first thing they see. I was imprinted on AC, or AC imprinted himself on me, I mean. And so I've just always cared about him. There are some times I've cared about him less than I do other times, but I still care about him. Like, I don't want anybody contacting his fucking wife. And what the hell did his wife do? His wife didn't do anything to, and neither did Bret's wife do anything to deserve to be broken, have their hearts broken like that. If she finds out, then okay, just that's hopefully she doesn't. I may hopefully, I don't know. He must have had to tell her because he had to be scared that Bird was going to do something, and that's what I think the psyop was. Because I said in Rebels channel recently, I said Bird wouldn't do that. It was just when he was threatening. It was like months before Christmas, and I said Bird's not that low. He's not going to do that. I don't think he actually did that. I think he just part of his talk. But it must have scared Bret. So, and he probably only told her part of the truth and didn't sounded like the other. Bird picked up on it and he mentioned it in his live that it sounded like he hadn't actually told her the whole truth. But you know what? If her heart's not broken, then good, because that's really fucking wrong. It's wrong to do anybody's wife, unless their wife is here, right? There are wives here, like Chickie's here. Katie's not a wife, though. She's just friend. Although, she's amped up her sticking up for Bird lately. She's, like before, she was kind of arm's length at it. But now, she backs him up with almost, not everything. Sometimes she'll say that's fucked up. But she is quicker to back him up. See, this is how I feel about Katie and Bird. I love them both as brother and sisters, but I think there's no way that real man, Tyrant Bird, the real man, he's not going to fit in with Katie's family. And Katie, obviously, Katie's she's like a real housewife. She reminds me of one of the real housewives of, actually, she reminds me maybe of Ashley on Potomac, Real Housewives of Potomac. She's got that personality, but she looks like a real housewife of the Beverly Hills, or maybe Orange County, but more like Beverly Hills, like an LA chick. And, but she's part of a horse farm, and she rides horses, and she grew up riding horses. So I'm from the city. We don't ride horses, but it's the rich kids. The only kids in the city that rode horses were the rich kids. So she's a rich kid. But she also seems to have had a good upbringing, because she does know what's right. She touts what's right. She doesn't actually do what's right, but she touts what's right, just like Bird. I don't think she's a sociopath, though. I think she has a line that she draws in her head, and she thinks it's okay to do here. But words, they aren't just words. Words hurt. And sometimes people have to check their ego. And sometimes things have been really rough on somebody, and the last thing they need is someone grating on their heart. And words are real life, because that real life person, everybody lives in their mind. You can't escape it. You're imprisoned in your mind. You can't get out of your mind. You can try to think what it's like, but it's always going to be based on what you know, what you've felt, what you've seen, what you've heard. We're imprisoned in our minds. And if your mind is a terrible place to be, like my friend Kendall, she has to take medication, or she thinks she does. She's kind of she's schizo, I think, actually. But she has bad dreams, and she has to take pills so that she doesn't dream. That's rough. I protect her. She always has this bad way of looking at everything. So if somebody has a really bad way of looking at things, oh, look, I lost a person. They don't want to hear about compassion. Nobody wants to hear about compassion. They want to hear bonk, bonk, bonk on the head because everybody's so angry, they have to take it out on someone else. When I never take it, that I may get angry at somebody for what they did. And it's possible that I might get more angry than I normally am because I'm angry about something else. But I never take out when I'm angry about somebody else on somebody else, right? I only go at the person that I'm angry at. And I don't hit below the belt. If I was fighting with AC, and I have, I don't go below the belt. And if I were fighting about him or fighting with him now, say we got into a fight now, I'm not going to go at him with the stuff that he brought up, or like the stuff that people have brought up about him, the bad stuff, right? I'm not going to bring that up against him. That's not the way I fight. I'm a decent person, and I'm not your punching bag. I know you think I am, but I'm not. But it's true. I don't have to sit and listen to it. I can X out of it. But then if you don't know what's going on, if you don't know what people are saying about you, then you don't understand the reactions you're getting from people, right? You have to understand the lies that are coming through the pipe to understand why you get a reaction from someone, right? Like Bret's reaction to me, Bird's reaction to me is completely irrational. Completely irrational. It's not based on anything but the twisting of the truth. That's all. And very, very little information about me as a person because they don't even bother to come see who I am, right? So this is so ridiculous that people aren't feeling better, unless somebody else is hurting. I know it's a human trait, but it's a rotten human trait. And when you see it in yourself, why aren't you correcting it, right? So I laid my money on Bird. That Bird has the wisdom. He just has to stop being a sociopath and going too mean. He's got to keep it to just ribbing. Or if he's mad about, like, if he's going to expose AC for lying about something in the Discord or whatever, okay, go ahead. I'm here for it. But not contacting his wife, right? And Manda, I can't really blame her, although I don't know what's true and what's not when Manda talks, but I don't think she's ever been mean to me. Even when she was on the AC show, on the shit show, she was like, she didn't really pipe in. Game over too. He's a shit. Everybody says he's such a nice guy. He's not a nice guy. He's a shit. He's picked on me too. For what? I've only been nice to him. One time we were on a panel and he came up and somebody was trying to block him because they thought he might porn bomb. And I vouched for Game Over too and said, no, he doesn't porn bomb people. So I vouched for him. And another time I gave him a compliment because I hate his ugly videos that he makes about people. Not just the ones he put me in, but the other ones too. They're ugly. But he makes fantastic intros for the shit show. Fantastic. I mean, should be award winning. My favorite one is the one with Joe Pesci. And then the one that was before the one with Joe Pesci. But then there was another one near the beginning with the old time swing dancing. I like that intro too. So I gave him compliments. And what does he do? He makes me look ugly in his videos. He even put me in one where Rada was the subject, but he threw me in there as an ugly choice. He even goes, ew, when my face comes up. What the fuck did I do to that fucking twerp? And he is he did say he was on Palestine's side, but he does say some awfully racist shit. Awfully racist shit. And I've heard some stories about him, but I can't say they're true because I don't know anything. It's background stuff that other people in the know. But I've heard stuff bad about him. But still, he is not a nice guy at all. So he just seems nice because he walks softly, but he carries a big stick. His videos. He should also apologize because I've never done it to him. Now I'm whining. See, where's Willie? Now I'm not whining. This is whining. Gotta stop whining. So, said about the bird thing. What are some other videos I could play? What's this? I can't see the whole title.
A lie is a lie is a lie, okay? Why you gotta play semantics? You don't have to play semantics. Just tell the goddamn truth. Playing semantics is lying, okay? Whatever way you want to slice it and dice it, when you play semantics, you are lying. You are being dishonest, okay? That is dishonest. A lie is a lie is a lie, okay?
The liars accuse others of lying. Why? So they don't have a light shine on them. The hypocrisy.
If you look up hypocrisy in the dictionary, it's going to have a picture of ASMR, would just be a big question mark, but oh, this one, I've been waiting to play this when I'm on my panel. If I have a panel, I can play this one here. Hold on.
The flames of the righteous attack the unjust.
Oh, here's one.
You know what I've discovered recently? Alimony. It's like feeding a dead horse hay when all you want to do is beat it.
Camille, you're stupid. Once upon a time, I regretted calling Camille a CU. Now, I feel like Camille's a stupid thing.
That's from Real Housewives. Oh, here's one. Here's something I could talk about. Andrew.
Yeah, that's fucking the pedo rapist's supporter. Remember that? Yeah. She also eats on the toilet. Yeah. She also does crack on the toilet.
Now, I thought Andrew give he hid the stream, but I think there was some other reason why. Either it had some music or it had a porn bomb or something on it. But he hid it afterwards. But I managed to see it because I tuned in and I did my thing where I rewind and I heard him. He gets on his stream and it wasn't about me, but it was after I put that video because I put that video out. That's a video on one of my lists, on my video list. And he saw it, and he'd already done a live, I think, before that. And that's where I took that from. And then I put my video out, and then he went live again. And I don't know if he went live because of me or not, but he came on and he starts making these jokes about being fat. Now it said Andrew is a big fat liar. Now I wasn't actually calling him fat. It's like a kid would say, "You're a big fat liar," right? That's why I said it like that. I wasn't actually calling him fat. So then I see him get on his live and he starts, "My fat, you think I'm fat?" I went, "Oh, he's talking about my video." Eventually he got to it. He answered it. Now, he said I was a pedo supporter. That's not true. I never was. That was never ever true. And he still says it to this day, and he already knows. He's already been told about when I separated myself from that whole situation. AC's told him. I've heard him tell other people too. It's the only thing I've heard him be honest about, really. And so I know what Andrew knows, but he either forgot or he doesn't care because it just sounds better to say that. But it's a lie. And what was the second thing? Forgot the second thing. The third thing was, did I eat in the bathroom? Was that it? But the third one thing was I do crack in the toilet. So I said, I've never done crack on the toilet. And he got me because he knew. He goes, okay, so you never did it on the toilet, but you still did it. Okay, so what? You did meth. Jamie did everything. Like, you guys all did these things. Fucking AC was just on mushrooms the other night. I can't say that I did crack. So that's so hypocritical and stupid of him. God damn, what, didn't he get in trouble for selling the shit? Meth or something? He got in trouble for selling it? He tried to stick my face in his fucking records like the first night I met him. I didn't even understand how to do that stuff. Like, I didn't know how to be on the stream and then go look somewhere else. And when I did, I have ADHD. I can't concentrate on both. That's part of the lie that AC said about me on one of his shows that he did about me. He was like, what? Well, why would she do it like this, like this, like this? I was new, God damn it. I didn't even understand there was a chat. I didn't understand how to see the chat. I was trying to focus on the panel, and a lot of people had avatars, and I didn't understand that either. Like, why can't I see their faces? I didn't know how to do an avatar. I just was there with my face. So I didn't know how to do an avatar. I started playing around with the buttons while I was there for 5.5 hours. I started playing around with a few buttons, but I had to concentrate on what people were saying so I could take part in the conversation, or later on so I could defend myself. So I did not have time to be doing all these other things. They're saying, go look this up, look that up. And I didn't even know you could do that to people, like go look up their records like that, because you can't do that in Canada. And I know there's certain sites you could do, but I thought you had to pay for it. I didn't realize there are some types you can get this information for free. So, but still, I didn't even know where they're sending me, nothing. So they read me all wrong. What else? What was the video I showed? Oh yeah. So, but then Andrew did a good thing. Just like AC came out and told the truth about one thing at the end of Breaths. AC said, I don't know if it was Tonic or some asshole in the audience, said something about me being a crack addict. And then he said, no, we never said she's a crackhead or a crackhead, a crack addict or crackhead, whatever. He said, no, we're not saying that. I'm not saying that. And I thought, well, that's cool. That was decent of him, right? So I guess he can be decent sometimes and other times not. I don't expect Andrew to be nice to me. It seems like his job is to just be mean to people. If you don't fit in, and with him, that line is getting thinner and thinner. It is like the mafia. It is like he's the godfather. You could liken it to that. Everybody kisses ring. Like AC is upset about this thing about Andrew. Andrew's like, I think Andrew felt bad because I caught some of that live, AC's live, when Andrew came up, and it seemed like he was sort of pulling back a little bit. It's like, I don't hate you. I just don't like that you did this. And I'm distancing myself from you. But he wasn't like breaking off ties. The other side said that, Andrew broke off ties. That's not what Andrew said. Andrew said that I think he said distancing himself, but he's just sort of pulling back. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't like it, like he doesn't care about AC. So, but AC has heard about that. And to make fun of him, I didn't hear him cry, I heard him almost cry. And to me, I would never dream of making fun of him for that. My heart went out to him. To be so vulnerable. But I think he was drinking, so maybe that's why. This is really affecting them. They all say they don't care what you think about them, but they do. If Jamie always says he doesn't care what you people think about what we people think about him, then why does he talks chapter and verse about himself. He talks chapter and verse about all of his experiences because he wants people to know him. If you could just take that racist, genocidal bit out of Jamie, and if you could tame, because when I used to talk to him, he was never mean. He kind of rose a little bit with his talking, but he was never mean. Not until the end. At the end, he was mean, but I had never known him to be mean up till that point. And so that was how many months after he was sober. He still got sober in October, he said. So November, December, January, February, he was sober for about 3 to 4 months, maybe 5, but probably 3 to 4 months when I met him. And then maybe a couple of weeks later, 2 or 3 weeks later, maybe, I don't know. I can't remember. AC came along. Well, AC was in there making fun of me, but that night we had our fight and AC scooped him up. Because Jamie was pissed off at me because I was telling him the truth about what goes on in Israel, and he's just so fucking stupid. He's bought everything that MSM has ever sold him. And so, and when you hear these lies over and over again in your life, like I've heard these lies, all of these points, those are triggers, right? Because somebody starts a sentence a certain way, I know exactly how that sentence can be finished because the MSM told them to say that, and they always say it the same way. So I'll interrupt somebody because I don't want to get to the end of that fucking bleeding sentence because it's all fucking bullshit, right? So I'm going to get to the part where it's the truth and start correcting him. So anyway, he was a pretty decent person up till then. And now he's like, I looked up the term dry drunk, and dry drunk is somebody who they act this because it just sort of came to me, right? It's like spirit put it in my head, dry drunk. So I went to Google and I got the definition, and the definition was something like basically like they act the same way when they're sober as they are when they're drunk, but they're just not as bad. Like it's a toned down version of how they are when they're drunk. Well, Jamie said that he's a mean mamma jamma when he's drunk, when he used to get drunk, but he's strong enough that he gave it up, and all the power to him. All the power to that piece of shit. He did a good job, and he's doing a good job of staying away from it. And so anyway, yeah, but he's acting mean to people. He's trying to pull back from it, but then he goes right back and does it. And then he talks about being a Christian and then does the exact opposite, the antithesis of what Jesus would do. Isn't that like a prerequisite that if you consider yourself a Christian, that you follow Jesus? Why is it that I'm not a Christian? I'm not anything. I don't belong to any club. I don't belong to any, to me, a religion is a club. I don't have a leader, nothing, right? But I do love Jesus, and I've always said it, and I always will. Jesus is one of my heroes. He's my teacher. And when I'm stuck in a bad position and I'm trying to figure out what to do, I always ask, what would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? Now, I'm not a Christian, and I do that. Why is Mr. Christian talking like he's a Christian and then doing what Satan would have him do? Just cutting people up, especially when they're weak. Somebody who the fuck would revel in somebody being homeless? Even AC and Jamie, when they were making fun of my video, getting everything wrong and lying about me, they felt bad for me because they thought that maybe I was homeless. And so they kind of gave lip service to the fact that, well, I really don't want to go in too hard on her because it looks like maybe she's homeless. And I said to AC, I said, later on, I said, that was pretty decent of you to not, you thought that I was homeless. So you decided you're going to let up on me. I said, I thought that was really sweet. He says, yeah, well, what are you going to do? You don't actually, root for somebody to be being homeless. Something, he said something like that. I said, but you do with Rebel. And he goes, yeah, but that's Rebel. What does that mean? Yeah, but that's Rebel. Rebel's one of us. He's a human being. He's got feelings, and he's lost. And I think that, please excuse me for talking about you, Rebel, in the third person, but there's no malice in my heart whatsoever about you. I think that the lack of a male figure to guide him as he was growing, or even now, is what makes him lost. And instead of somebody stepping up and saying, look, buddy, look, this is the way you do it, or showing him compassion, showing him understanding. You don't have to put up with the stupid shit he does, but he's doing less and less stupid shit, isn't he? Because he's growing, and he's showing more growth than AC, Bret, and Bird put together. So I think he deserves a hand. Now, I don't see all his streams. He could still be doing some fuck shit. I don't know. But when I've heard him, he sounded reasonable. He sounded adult. He doesn't sound butthurt. And he sounds compassionate. He's not sitting there being angry at everybody. He was before, but he doesn't seem so now. Because why? Because he's grown. Despite you guys. In spite of you guys, he's grown. So just like I applaud Katie and Jamie and anybody else who's done the hard work to get over a bad habit, same with Rebel. It's a habit of a lifetime for him. And he's learning from it, just like I learned some of the shit that I needed to learn when I came here. And he's finally learning too. But he's used to being with the drama crowd, so he's still going to engage in the drama, right? I'm doing a review of the drama. He's actually getting in there and getting in with people and talking about people to other people. And, so he's still doing that. But there's a way you can do that and just be ribbing people instead of being hurtful, right? You don't have to be hurtful. You can just be ribbing people. Like people were ribbing me, Slow Burner, and even Rick Crude. I don't even hang out with Rick Crude, and he was ribbing me about Danny coming up here. I don't mind being ribbed. I love being ribbed. It's bonding, ribbing with each other. I rib other people. But you don't hit below the belt. You don't grate on somebody's heart. You don't eviscerate them. That makes you a bad person, and you need to clear that up. You've got a fucking virus, and you need to fucking heal yourself, because your fucking shit from inside you is spilling all over everybody else. You're getting blood and guts, your own blood and guts, all over other people. And some people can handle it, and some people can't. And some people can't find their way out of here because it's Hotel California. I got myself out of trying to make friends with any of these people. The friendly people ended up at my channel, and they're friendly with me. Every once in a while, I get somebody in here trolling me, but otherwise, it's just friends or people asking me questions. Not terribly challenging questions, but I don't mind if somebody thinks that I have done something and they don't know if I did or not, and they want to ask me about it. Then I don't mind answering it. I don't mind if somebody thinks I've got the wrong position on something. I don't mind talking with them about it. But I'm not going to sit here and be disrespected. So I don't go into other people's chats just to be disrespected. So I just stay out of the chats. But I watch, and I care, and I laugh. I mean, Bret acts like such a fucking lowlife here. But I know that he's got a breakable heart. He's got this little black breakable heart. Now, he's not, you can't really compare him to Negan, because Negan, he had a story that made him the way he was, but it was apocalypse times. It was zombie apocalypse times. So he did have to be harder than you normally would have to be on the streets of Chicago or LA or wherever, fucking Massachusetts. But Negan had some saving, what do you call it, saving graces? some good qualities about him underneath, and that's why you just love him and just want to hug him. There are times when I felt bad for Bret because he's gotten drunk and he's just spilling out all his stuff, and he's so vulnerable, and that's why I made the pirate video for him. So, you know, he was sad and he'd been lamenting. I think it might have been the Amanda thing. I didn't understand what was going on at the time. I just saw him. I didn't even see him say bad stuff to Amanda. I saw him actually sticking up for Amanda. It was near their breakup there, and it was right after the roof thing. So he was still new. The thing that got me watching him, of all the things, Bret, I only started watching him because he went after my sister Rue. And Rue was freaked out. She was panicked. She was fairly new, and she didn't understand what was coming at her. And she freaked out, and she was told some bogus information on purpose, it seems, so that she would freak out so everybody could laugh. Now, she went and got down and dirty with everybody, so I can't really defend her after a certain point. But she was new, and she was freaked out, and who the fuck wouldn't be freaked out? And she's a single mom, so she's the only one protecting her son. And here she was, she got involved with some people who might find her and do some bad things to her and maybe her son. And when somebody ramps her up and tells her shit that isn't true, and she reacts to that, well, my gosh, the poor thing. So Bret was just like this great big bear, and she was like a little mouse going at him. And see, he's like he got a thrill out of just smacking her back and forth. And one of the lines he said was, "Your overfucked mouth." I thought, oh my God, that is probably the worst thing I've ever heard anybody say to anybody. Stay tuned. But I was fascinated by him. So I started watching him. And then he came into my chat. I was going off about something because I was fairly new too. It was still my first few months. And I was going off about something, and he came into my chat. And I remembered him because he called me son. And I didn't know that was his thing, right? So I thought, you know, I'm so tired of all these fucking millennials calling me dude when I'm a girl. You don't call a girl dude. We made up the word. We didn't make it up for girls. So use it in its proper context, you fucking idiots. But so when he called me son, I thought, was he just being disrespectful? So I went, I'm not your fucking son, right? So I remembered him from that he was in my chat. And then he kind of left me alone. I mean, he was trying to get me in the chat, but he didn't realize yet that I can't really keep up with the chat. So, and then after, maybe that was actually a time when he came in chat. I had told him that my heart went out to him because I just thought Amanda was his partner on the show, but that they're friends behind the scenes. And now that their friendship broken up, he was so hurt by it. And I felt hurt for him. So I mentioned it on my live. I think that was the live when he spoke up, because I think that's the only time I ever knew he was in my channel. So must have been the one. And I said that I was proud of him for not saying rotten things about her, because he hadn't up to that point. Now I take it from Amanda's reaction to him that he must have said some bad shit to her. And I could see now how he treats her. So, but obviously he's going to treat her like that now after everything she let spill, right? But I understand her wanting to set the record straight too, if she's telling the truth. Don't know who's telling the truth here. That's why everybody believes AC if AC goes and tells people I'm a liar, which I'm not. I have never lied to anyone here. I've lied in my life, yes. And I still reserve the right to lie if I'm ever protecting myself or somebody else. That's the only reason why I'd lie. So I don't appreciate somebody saying that I'm a liar when I'm not, and has never, ever proven it. He's twisted the truth because he didn't have anything real, right? But that was a true twist on the truth. He didn't use all the facts in that, so he made it look a different way. took it out of context. So I have never lied. Nobody's ever proved I've lied because I haven't lied. And I'm not scared of anyone coming out with anybody things that's saying I'm lying because I've never lied. So that's something that I'm going to take to the platform, right? I'm going to say, look, I'm not a liar. This person's a liar because blah, 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 right? AC's a liar because he says he doesn't gatekeep. Bull fucking shit. Bullshit. You gatekeep. Jamie well, so I can't say Jamie does. He probably does, but I can't say he did it with me. Andrew gatekeeps. Exiled gatekeeps. Who else? ASMR gatekeeps. Because when they go on somebody else's live, like say I'm trying to go up there and the time I went to go meet, there's a few people I tried to meet, but they ruined it. I went to go meet Mr. P. And I think that time, Corrosive was up on the panel. He probably backed him up, but it was somebody else. I think it was Andrew. Because Andrew got to, what's that new guy? Catatonic. No. Kane Corso supporter. Or no. Shit. It's a good word he used. Solace? Kane Corso's Solace or something like that. I heard that he trusts Andrew. Mr. P made that mistake. I don't know what it is Andrew does. He must talk to them a certain way, get their trust. But he talks like a used car salesman, so I don't know what. Well, actually, Mr. P was a used car salesman, so maybe it didn't seem awkward that he talked like that. Anyway, they gatekeep because what they do is you try to meet somebody. I tried to go meet Vegas Joe, that Canadian 1A'er. Anyway, a few people. That's why I never went up and tried to meet Rue, because I knew what they'd do. So I just left it till one day we'd cross paths. And I just used to watch her and pray for her. But yeah, they'll tell the other people stuff about you that's not true, out of context. Then the other people on their panel will go, oh, I don't want to deal with that. That's gatekeeping, you fucking lying assholes. And you say, I never went at anybody that didn't come at me first. Liar, I never came at you. Never. I've defended myself, but I've never came at you. So that's a lie. Bret says it. AC says it. I think Jamie says it. See, Jamie and I, we have our own fight. He goes along with AC because that's what he does. But that's just convenient for him because he actually had a bone to pick with me himself. Whereas Bret is just jumping on the bandwagon with AC and ASMR and all the rest of them, right? They just jump on the bandwagon because they're stronger in numbers. That's what gangs are. They're just little pussies. So they have to come in numbers so that they really have the effect of scaring somebody, right? Whereas honest people, regular people, just come as themselves. So everything they say are fucking lies. And then they try to go, oh, look, I got the receipts. You got all the receipts or just part of the receipt? Like 303 fucked around. But if 303 hadn't have done that bogus fucking move, he really needs to be boxed in years for that one. Because he painted Tyrant Bird's Bird used to scare me so much. I used to call him Mr. Bird. Bird had a point to make about I think it was Ajot. God bless Ajot. I wouldn't talk bad about her. Never had a problem with her. Anything I have to say would be in private, but I don't really have anything to say. It's not my business, right? But in that thing, that was supposedly a hotel receipt from 2000. Was it 2014 or 2012 or something stupid? 2017. I don't know. But I can never see these things. They're too tiny. I can't read them. But I don't really care. I could have just stopped the video and blown it up and read it, but I don't care. I don't want to know. But it was stupid. I knew it was stupid. I figured that even if AC was doing that other shit, he wasn't actually meeting people in person. So, but I was wrong before. He wasn't just flirting. But see, the way he got away from the thing with AJOT was he overblows it. I watched that. That was fucking not exactly genius, but he pulled it off with genius. He saw that and he ran with it. Because if it had just stayed with oh, I know a couple things to correct. Okay, I'll finish this. If Bird had just stayed with the accusation of AJOT and no bullshit receipt had to come out, then maybe the truth would have come out. Bird has pulled it back because I think it's an ace he wants to play later on if need be. Hopefully he gets more heart by then and he won't pull out anything. I mean, I'm interested to see anything he's got, but that's the bad side of me, right? The good side of me says, for his sake, not my entertainment's sake, but for Bird's soul's sake, I hope that he doesn't, he ends up getting better before he spends all his ammo. But if it comes out, it comes out. I'm interested. I watched Real Housewives long before I even came here. I'm into the drama. As long as nobody calls anybody's wife or job or any of that shit. Yeah. So instead, what AC did was he took that piece of paper and he lorded it over the crowd, knowing that it's bullshit, and then whitewashed everything that was true by waving that false thing, right? So 303's false thing got waved and then whitewashed all the stuff that Bird had said that was probably true, right? So the stuff he's honey dicking us with. So that happened. Now, here's something. Why the fuck? And this is the only thing that I've gotten involved in this whole 5 months because it's driving me nuts. Jamie is the only one who saw it and said something. Everybody else has kept stumm, as they say. Yiddish word. They've been quiet. But you know what? There was a time that Tonic did. Yes, Jamie, you were right. I don't talk to you, so I didn't message you. But you were right. There was a time that after, I guess it was after Rick Crude did his interview with Tonic's ex-girlfriend, which I don't think he should have done. But after that happened, Tonic did a live on his own stream, supposedly interviewing his ex-girlfriend. He privated it right afterwards. But I heard people talking and they were saying that it wasn't really Tonic's ex-girlfriend, that it was somebody acting like they were his ex-girlfriend. So he made a play of him interviewing his ex-girlfriend where that person who was acting like this ex-girlfriend said, like, all the stuff that Tonic will now say nowadays, that that it was overblown, that Rick had pretended to be a cop and all this stuff. So she was kind of recanting some of what she said on Tonic's live. But Tonic lied. That wasn't really his girlfriend. And you know how I know now that it was a lie? I didn't just go with what people were saying because everybody talks rumor. I'm not going to believe rumors, but I'll keep them filed. And what happened was when this all came out again, everybody brought it up again. And God, I hope nobody contacts her because, again, like the wives, she might be an ex, but still, why should she be bothered by this shit? People should just leave her alone. It's not our fucking business, for fuck's sake. But anyway. So he lied. That part is our business because he lied to everybody. But all of a sudden, this whole fucking community got Alzheimer's and don't remember that episode. And Bird wasn't paying attention because apparently he didn't pay attention to other stuff. He says he's just finding out stuff now from Tonic that Tonic already said before, but he didn't know that before. So he wasn't watching. He said he didn't watch all his lives. So maybe, but why didn't one of his cronies tell him? And so one time, 303 made a video. And again, I was feeling bad for him, but he was saying something about his dogs. And he said, if you want to know what happened to the dogs, just email me and I'll tell you. And I thought, I'd rather know from him what the truth is. I really don't give a fuck, right? I remember watching him and I'd give him both comments and live chat, being supportive, because they were in an RV and they were the whole family against the world. And so I was supportive. And so I'd write supportive things and I'd tell him how proud I was of him for standing up and doing this and doing that. And, I know things are hard and you're still holding shit together. And when the wife went to jail, I called and made a video of the call. And I sent it to him because he wanted people to do that. He said, call them. And if you want to record yourself doing it, go ahead and send it to me. He said something like that. So I did that very thing. He never acknowledged it, nothing. But I sent it to him in an email because I've always been supportive and compassionate. So, something recently. Oh yeah. I sent him something saying, well, I'd rather hear it from you. Of course, it was one of my long ones, but, I'd rather hear from you. And he's lied so many times. Obviously, I can't really trust anything he's saying, but still, sometimes he tells the truth. And if it's about his story, maybe he'll tell the truth. And that way, if anybody else says bad about him, at least I'll know the truth because I heard it from him, right? I'll know his truth. He never answered my email, but in that email, I put a PS. And I mentioned that live from Tonic. I said, maybe Bird doesn't know. Let Bird know. Because that's something that is worth. You guys judge people on the wrong things. If somebody lies to us, that's worth telling us about. If somebody has a problem in their own relationship, that's none of our fucking business. It's none of our. If Bird wants to share that he got divorced, I'll show him my heart. But if he doesn't want to share it with us, he's not lying. It's none of our fucking business. Same thing with AC's life. Same thing with Bret's life. Same thing with Jamie's life. But Jamie wants to put everything out on Brent Street. He thinks that that's him being vulnerable. But he's not, right? Because he'll crucify anybody who comes at him for those things. So he's not being vulnerable. He just wants people to know him. He feels invisible in the world, I think. And he just wants people to know him. And if he could stop being a fucking Nazi and take back the genocidal shit he said, saying that he wants, I can't remember the exact words, I've got it on my hard drive. I downloaded the shit show episode. He was yelling. AC told me to come over, come visit him. So I did. I said something in the chat. I was getting along with people in chat. Jamie saw me, and like a great big ogre, he's like, gets so closer to his camera and says, do you think that you could just slide by in here and talk with everybody? Get the fuck out of here. And he bans me or whatever, made it so nobody could see me. And then AC goes, well, I did say she could come here. But then he just left it, right? He just left it like that because that was his buddy. So, okay, fine. Then I guess I'm not welcome here. I just do it as a like a temperature check. I might write something in chat every once in a blue moon. Not that, every once in a while, I'll write something in chat. So, Tonic did do a fake video interview with his ex and then hid the thing. And again, I was probably in my first year, didn't know anything about how to take screenshot or screen records or anything like that. So, but I didn't, why would I waste hard drive space on that, right? Like, so, but I do have Jamie starting to yell shit, like, that all the Palestinian babies should die. Who the fuck wishes death on babies? I mean, that's some really low shit and completely the opposite of what a Christian would think or say or feel. So, fuck you and your I'm not a racist bullshit. All of you that have been racist against Palestinians or Arabs or Muslims, you think that because you're not racist against blacks, that means you're not racist? Because what? You're just proving the dehumanization. That shit is something to get upset about. That is really something to get upset about. Because the only reason why this is going on for the Palestinians is because of the largely stupid American public who pays for it and thinks it's okay to pay for it because they've been told lies on their MSM and believe it. Just like Jamie, just like fucking AC. Take that back. Not AC. He's never said anything like that. He's let it be said on his show, but he's never said anything like that. Just like Jamie, just like, I want to say Bret, but you know, there's a flavor to when somebody says something. Even Bird. I was mad at him for putting it out in their universe, but I can't believe that he really believes it. But then he said a couple really ignorant things about what's going on, just like peppered here and there. And so I think to myself, oh no, he is brainwashed. He doesn't know the truth. But I just can't believe that he actually wants to, you know, kill off a culture of people, right? Like, but still, you shouldn't be putting that out in the universe. There's a fucking line, you people, you know, like, this is real word shit. Words are spells. Where's that video? I don't have it on the, and I can't share on the phone. Fuck. Can't, I used to, when I had my computer, I used to be able to share, but I can't do it here, and my computer's from, my tablet is from 1945, so I can't even update Chrome enough to get even the phone version. But yeah, so there was that. What was the other thing that needed clearing up? Like, I don't want to hear from Tonic's ex-girlfriend. It's just none of our fucking business. And all of these things can be taken out of context, right? I mean, Tonic really does deserve to have his ass kicked for many different reasons, but you know, things, you know, it doesn't make you into a, you people are predators, you bullies. You are predators. You're all fucking predators. If you follow people around, if you don't let people have a moment's peace in other people's chats and on people's panels, you're a predator. You're hunting somebody. You are preying on someone, right? That makes you a predator. If you're preying on people, you're a predator, right? So all you people are fucking predators. And I've been saying that for wholly 3 years. I've been saying, now Katie says it and people can hear it, but I've been saying it for 3 years. You're all predators. I survived, but there's lots of people who might not. And that was what I feared for Bird, you know, that he was feeling like that. Obviously, by the time I got into it, I knew he wasn't, but I still thought maybe he came up with that idea because he's feeling that. Because I was the first one to speak up from the audience against We the People. When they called, or now I'm hearing other buzz. So I'm not sure if that actually happened the way that we heard it. But when I thought that, when we all thought that We the People had sent the ACP or whatever the fuck you call it, the children's thing, over children's aid in the States, they sent them to AC's house. I spoke up from chat, knowing that I'm a low person on the totem pole, which by the way is a bad saying because the person on the lowest on the end of a totem pole is actually the most important. But we say lowest on the totem pole. But still, I came up and said something out loud when everybody else was scared of We the People at the beginning, right? I said it out loud and made myself a target. Because I said something out loud. Nobody else had. I did. Because I was disgusted that AC's children, Nobody was thinking at the time. I was the one who said it. Nobody else had said it yet. That it's it scares the children. If some stranger comes to your house or brings you into an office somewhere, starts asking you questions about what's going on in your house, that will scare the children. And I was disgusted by that. And I spoke up, regardless of whether somebody's going to throw hate at me or whatever. AC never recognized that either. Because I had his children's back. I've always had his children's and his wife's back. I don't think I need to have his back, but I still, my heart goes out to him when he's sad. But I don't need to have his back. But I have his wife and his children's back. And I always will, on principle. Because that's the way I work, on principle. It doesn't matter whether I like you or I don't. And that's the other thing that bullies self sit around and they want to talk themselves up. It's like a Johnny Carson show where everybody's licking each other's ass. And Jamie, have I ever blah, 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 blah. It's just like cue up, ass licking. They'll bring up an incident where they did do the right thing or they look like they did the right thing, but leave out the incidents where they did the wrong thing, right? They'll just bring up the things they did that were right. So many times as AC said, I'm not a gatekeeper. Do I tell you where you can go? Do I tell you who you can hang out with? You're still a gatekeeper if you're blocking other people from meeting new people and letting them decide whether they like you or not, instead of filling their head with shit that would never want them to talk to you again, right? So you are gatekeepers. You're liars, you're hypocrites, all of you. But my money's on Bird because he says the wisest things and he knows the right way. It's just he's got a bad habit and he needs to break it. Just like Jamie and Katie stopped drinking and whoever else stopped doing things. I know a guy, I think I can say because he said many times, Smiler. Now, he can be a rotter sometimes. When it comes to drama, he can be a rotter. I'm not part of his drama, but he's got his own drama crowd, and he can be a rotter. But when it comes to what's important, he's a good man. Smiler's a good man. And he's smart enough to go and do research on things. Then he finds out the truth. And then there's really nothing to argue about because he knows the truth. And he gave up opium. He was on opium because he had pains. Like he had something, I can't remember what his ailment was. I've heard so many people's ailments now. I get everybody mixed up, but he had an ailment that was hurting him. So they gave him opium for the pain. And he weaned himself off on his own. It takes strength. And it's going to take strength for Bird. The bad half of me is like, not till he gets out all the shit that he's going to tell us, right? But that's not me caring about Bird if I don't want him to get better before he gets rid of all, like tells us all the shit that he's got to tell us, right? So I care more about Bird than finding out the shit. But if he wants to tell us, I'm here for it. And like I said before, he plays the best music. He plays blues. He plays rock. He even plays nice, softer songs from the 70s and shit. I was thinking, is it Bret that calls us or Bird that calls us older chicks? The cougars. I'm not a cougar. Again, Bird is like my daughter's age. I think he's a good representation of what a man is. I mean, like the what do you say? Not quintessential. What's the word? The stroke man. Not the epitome of, because a man, like a real man, would be strong enough in his soul to not do the fuck shit that he does. And I do see him misrepresenting the truth. He's not telling 100% the truth. But like he said, 80% truth and 20% lies. He said that the other day. I thought, he said he's always said that. That was the first time I ever heard him say that. Maybe he says that behind the scenes to his friends or former friends. But that was interesting that he said that. Now, I don't think that's the same formula for everybody. But it does seem, the breakup between Bret and Bird, also, just like ASMR and AC, when they first broke up, I wrote them something, a comment in the shit show. Again, knowing I'm going to end up being a target or possible target, I said, I'm sorry for you that you're feeling this pain. And I said for both of them, even that snake oil salesman, I felt bad for him too, that they had broken up. It's an unholy, pairing. I mean, it was a good thing they broke. Actually, it wasn't a good thing because AC got worse after that. Probably because he didn't have his attack dog right there by his side, and he learned to be more attacking. After that, was it that right? Was it before that or after that when he started getting really fucking violent talking? Like he was just like so fucking aggressive. And it did seem to be women. I don't know if he was pissed off at his wife and he's taking out on all the women here, but he was really aggressive with the women. And then, I don't know, he just got this dirtier shade of evil as time went on. And I always knew, I said it from the beginning. When I found out who Bird was, I said it from the beginning. He could be the one. And I pictured him doing it as their friend, right? That they'd be friends with them, and they would probably go too far somewhere in Discord, they'd go too far, and he would be the line, and he would show them that, that's going too far. You can go here, but don't go too far. And I know that's fucking funny saying that about Bird when he did the birding, but he said such wise things. I just feel like he could teach them how to be a little bit more human. And he said all kinds of things to them, but they're not listening, and they're still not listening. Sounds like that song Vincent. They're not listening still. AC seems to be the toughest nut to crack because Bret has been broken. You can feel it. His heart is so open. It's black, but it's open. Poor guy. It's not what's happened to you. It's how you've taken what's happened to you in your life, right? It's your perspective on it. Somebody might not have had as hard a life as someone else, but how they took it was harder. Maybe because they're just an entitled little brat, or maybe because they're soft souls, and you're not supposed to be hurting other souls. So, but Bret looks like he's been very, very affected. And what Bird, by his life, but what Bird's done has broken him, I think, to a point. Not totally. He got off the horse. He's getting back on again. And he's still lying his ass off about me. I can't, it's not because I want to talk about me. If I don't know what other people, they're lying about other people, I know when they're lying about me. So I can testify to the lies that they actually tell and then postulate on the lies that I think they're telling, right? So AC doesn't seem to want to actually be vulnerable. He says he takes accountability. Katie's right about that too. He's not taking accountability. You can't just say, yeah, well, I'm an asshole, but at least I admit to it. That's not taking accountability. You have to either make amends or, follow the 12 steps, for fuck's sakes. It's probably good for any kind of addiction. Just follow those goddamn steps. And if you have to believe in a religion to do it, then go ahead. Who gives a shit? It all amounts to the same thing in the end. We're loved in the universe. We're all brothers and sisters. So if that makes you a Christian, go ahead, follow the Christians. It doesn't matter. Just as long as you're becoming better, a better person. And that doesn't mean no fun. It just means don't rip people's hearts out. That's all. And if somebody is not, when I came here, when Ruru came here, when other people, Rebel at the beginning, right? If you aren't one of the people that plays these games, Don't play those games with other people who don't play those games. It's not fair. And especially if you're here for something serious like I was. Who's going to listen to me now? Because I'm just a fucking joke, right? I have important things to say, I think. And it's my platform. I came here to use my platform to say what I want people to hear. But who's listening to me? 10 people. And they're probably just listening to tape me, to video me or whatever. Nobody's saying anything in the chat, right? So that's how I always say that he silenced me. I say AC because he was the ringleader. He was the one who put me on the plate for everybody else to cut into. Whereas he could have just said, no, she's not on the plate. She's not part of this, right? And all these years, he could have made things right. But he doesn't want to do that either. Because he doesn't take accountability for what he does. So he can say it all he wants. But now with this Battle of the Titans thing, the Titan urchins, they, now people are starting to see what they're like. And that's also an interesting development. What it took for people to see it. Because I was thinking that people just didn't care about the truth. But now it's like something people want to get in on, right? Corrosive cunt. He's like a secondary, tertiary character. I know people like Corrosive. I've sat with people like Corrosive. In fact, I've got it. One day I'll show it. I've got a pen from a guy who's a stay-at-home father who makes pens. I won one of his pens in a contest, and it was in a part of a gift bag, and I was so thrilled to get it because it was handmade. It's very simple, but I've still got it and it still works. I try to barely use it because I like to keep it. So I like the pen. The guy was what's a cuck. And but see, why does Corrosive act the way he does? Because he feels ineffectual in his life. He probably, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home father. It's not the normal way of doing things, but why do you have to do it normal, right? If the wife can make more than the husband, or if the husband is more nurturing than the wife, why not have the husband stay home? I'm not going to judge him for that. It's his own judgment, his own family judgment. The family's fine with it. What the fuck does anybody else have to say about it, right? But because it's not traditional, not yet anyway, because it's not traditional, he probably feels a certain way about it. He probably feels like less, which he shouldn't, but he probably does. And so he comes here and has this fake condescending shit. He's been shitty about me. He doesn't know me. Again, he's jumped on the bandwagon, taken what I've said, the skewing of what I've said, and gone with that as the truth, and then judged me for it. And said that from his own shitty little lips. And I wasn't even there to, I mean, I'm watching him say it, but I can't say anything back. Anything else would just seem like whining, right? So he just sits there condescending when he's not even higher than my toe. And he's trying to condescend to me or to anybody else because it makes him feel better. He gets his jollies out of putting other people down. Anyone who gets their jollies from putting somebody else down, there's something wrong with you. You need healing, right? So all of them, doesn't matter how smart you think they are. They're not nearly as smart as you think. Jamie's not nearly as smart as you think as anybody thinks. People are finding that out now, right? It takes a while for people to find out. Even me, I thought that he was smarter than he was until he started spouting off MSM shit, and I realized that he was still trapped in the bubble, right? He's not as smart as he thinks he is. And he doesn't know how to come to the right conclusion about pretty much anything. Even though he's got so much insight as to how people behave. He has lots of insight on that. But because of his perspective, he comes to the wrong conclusion. I know about me and other things that I've seen differently than he does. Because it's not convenient for his narrative, that's why. But he's not nearly as intelligent as anybody thinks, and neither is anybody else who takes part in the drama community. I've had intelligent people here. Joe Cool is more intelligent than any of these bully fucks. That man knows more about me than science. Not that there aren't lots of people who know more than me about science, but I doubt there's hardly anybody here in these crowds that know more about science than I. Only like Denizen, Joe Cool, Nudie, maybe Nikki, and Shiva also fucking racist asshole. The very next day was like October 8th, October 7th, October 8th. That fucking piece of shit comes out and says he stands with Israel. What a piece of shit. And I've never heard him take it back. If he has, I've never heard him say it. He's an idiot. He just sounds smart because of his accent. And the accent had me fooled too. He's either had a good upbringing or he came up in a certain area in England where everybody talks like that. I don't know where people talk like that. Maybe the fancier parts in London, I don't know. But he probably went to a good school or something. And so he learned to speak proper English. But he's not really that smart. He is still smarter than a lot of people here, but the voice can really fool you, can't it? I get attached to people from their voices, right? These people pulling me in from their voice and their iambic pentameter, right? Brett's got a certain way of speaking, and I'm just, if he's not actually seriously defaming someone, he's got me rolling with laughter sometimes. He's just fucking funny. And I find the humor that's the irreverent humor, because I grew up following the rules. I was a good girl. I mean, I got in trouble for shit, but it was like coming in late, wearing makeup when I'm not supposed to be wearing makeup, those kinds of things, right? I've never been in trouble with the law. I followed the rules as much as I could. I've always tried to be a good person. I've had my slutty periods, but I cleared it up. I stopped being a slut. And it was fun while I did it, but I didn't want that reputation, so I cleared it up. So I've always been a good girl. And so when I get a chance to be bad or do something naughty or whatever, I'll take it because it just feels so good. It's like when I get angry, I'll litter, right? I don't throw my cigarettes on the ground. I pick them up. When I put out my cigarette, I always pick it up. I don't leave it on the ground. When I'm angry, I'll litter. Now, I don't do that very often. This, again, once in a blue moon. But, yeah. So when somebody does something that, like Roseanne or somebody like that, but that's the thing, right? They came out these shows where people are doing irreverent humor like Roseanne, and that's supposed to be the exception to the rule. It wasn't supposed to be the rule, but it became the rule. Now everybody wants to be Roseanne. Everybody wants to have a dirty mouth and say rotten things to people. I recognized it back in my 30s, and I saw that I really gotten attached to watching Roseanne. I started becoming like her because I got fat. And she said this thing one time in an interview that I really identified with. She said, when you have all this fat around you, you can keep people away, right? It's like a barrier between you and the people, other people. And I thought, ooh, that's deep, that's real. And so I just fell in love with her. And when she says things like, get away from me, little kid, right? She's actually saying the opposite. But now people actually behave like that. It's become the rule. So still, I I love irreverent humor. It doesn't have to be as dirty as Bret's, but dirty mouth, I mean. But I love that humor. So sue me. But I don't like it when you're, I don't like it when people go after with Rebel. That's not funny. I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing if anybody is hurt. Now, Shelly, I don't know how to gauge her, because it's almost like she doesn't give a shit about any of this. Sometimes she acts like she really does. She talks like she's got something really cool to say, something really, bonding, something good to say. But then she'll go and do the exact opposite and be just as shitty as everybody else. But she doesn't get that shitty. I've never seen her. No, sorry. I know one time she went real life by trying to go have coffee with Corrosive. But otherwise, I don't know of anything she's ever done in real life. I don't know of any kind of torture she's given done to anybody. But she can be rude, and I think she's funny. I don't think she takes any of this seriously. So I used to feel hurt for her when AC would be yelling at her, saying rotten things. And I think AC has a real soft spot for her. He'd probably punch me in the face if he was standing here. Can't stand that woman. But I bet you anything, he has a real soft spot for her. It's like he loves sparring with her. So, and it's almost like he chases after her to spar with her, because Shelly doesn't seem to be too impressed, but she'll take part in it. She doesn't care. And Paige, I don't care what you people say. I've never seen her do bad stuff. She is so humble. She doesn't even take all my praise. She always says she's not as good as that. So she's humble enough to not even, just take like a fandom, right? I think she's fucking cool. She jumps in front of bullets for people when she thinks that people are being unfair with somebody else. She'll jump in there and say, take aim at me. And she just lets that person just sort of fade into the background. I've watched her. And she's left this shit. I don't know. Every once in a while she comes back, but I haven't seen her back in a while. And when she does, she's really got some cool story to give us from the courts. So I like Paige. I like Shelly. I care about Rebel. Who else? Oh, Abe. I think he's a sweetheart. I think he's a fucking sweetheart. I have never seen him say or do anything wrong. I don't know if he's a liar or not, but I don't believe the liars who say he's a liar. That is something. I don't believe the liars who say that Abe's a liar. But that doesn't mean that Abe hasn't lied about things. I don't know. But I think he's a sweetheart. He's just playing with them. He's laughing it off. Sometimes he wants to clear shit up, but most of the time he's just laughing it off. Anyway. I'm tired of this shit. I got rid of what I wanted to say, mostly. 2 hours and 33 minutes. That's good enough. Nobody said anything after Exiled. So, I don't owe any of you fucks anything, but thanks for being here. And Happy New Year. And what else? Free Palestine. I love you, idiot fucks. I really do. I care about you. I don't want anything bad to happen to any of you. But if you get your ego smashed, I'm here for it. Ta-ta for now. Long live Palestine.